So price gouging is a corporate thing. Walmart's bringing down their prices.
It's not a corporate thing. It is an energy cost increase. That's what it
Walmart
is.
is cited saying that, yeah, we're going to bring our prices back down. We thought we could get away with it.
How are you going to bring your prices back down when you're paying more for energy?
Kroger came out guilty for that, by the way.
Kroger Corporation was just found guilty of price gouging. A lot of the companies are realizing that Americans won't spend the amount of money that they want to charge for things.
Because they can't afford it.
Correct.
They can't afford it.
Correct.
But whose fault is that?
A lot of things you could say that trying to put fault on one person for that is kind of goofy. I think
I'm putting fault on the leadership. The leadership.
Right, fault on the leadership is point. We already said earlier that we're also putting fault on the heads in between.
Okay, yes, but at the end of the day, it's a domino effect. I'm gonna put.
She has a point.
I got a point.
Oh, go.
I think I talked about it to you about last time too, where there was like this. It's a program that the majority of apartments use to see how much they should charge for rent, and the company that made that was found guilty of like price gouging. And you're talking about the majority of apartments companies, they have like they price it off of this program. So you're talking about like all these other things, and you're talking about cheese. I'm talking about apartments. That's where people fucking live at, and it's gotten ridiculous. People pay
We're talking about cheese. Sorry, that was funny. I was thinking about it. I'm gonna clip that, but go.
Chat.
I'm gonna get there, guys. It's gonna be automated.
People are paying more than 30% of their income for rent, and it has nothing to do with the presidency. It has to do with the companies doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It does have to do with the presidency because everything goes back to energy and everything goes back to materials. Everything goes back to the leadership and the policies they do. It creates a domino effect on everything else.
Why did they controlled by the federal government?
Why did they remove?
Should the government control it?
What? Sorry.
Should the government control it?
Rent prices?
No, they shouldn't.
So free market.
Yes.
So free market. So people are choosing to be dickheads with their prices.
No, right. The problem. Okay,
and they're citizens. They're choosing to be dickheads.
Are you a citizen?
Oh my god!
You have to compensate some. You guys need to see it in the sense of like you're okay. You guys need to see it in the sense of how other countries have already gone through this. Like we're not the only ones going through this. Look at Argentina. Argentina literally went through what you're talking about right now. They thought it was a bright idea to price gouge, and now that they have a libertarian president, everything's free market. Now everything actually starts to go down. Things are going to be rough for a bit, but it doesn't change the fact that if you control the market and the government caps the market, for example, I'm going to give you a really good one. She wants to give $20,000 to first homeowners. You guys
$25,000 for first time buyers, and holy fuck, I wish I'd had that.
All right, so look how stupid. This is how retarded she is, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you guys, but it's dumb.
I thought we couldn't say the R word.
I'm saying it now. Fuck it, because I'm pissed that people are falling for this shit. If she gives you again taxpayer money, because those $25,000 is taxpayer funded, so yes. We are paying for you to get a job, to get a house. And what do you think the seller is going to do? He's going to be like, well, if you're going to get $25,000 for free, technically not really free because we're paying for it, but for free, then I'm going to jack up my price $25,000 more. Right. That's all that's going to do.
So what do we say about the sellers that have already been doing that, especially when you have buyers like BlackRock who are buying up single family homes?
That's not even that's not a buyer. That is a monopoly. That is not even that's a huge monopoly.
And they're increasing their home prices.
Yeah, but that's okay. So BlackRock is not even. They're a Goliath.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not just talking about BlackRock because they'll survive no matter what happens. No matter what inflation, they're gonna survive. Business. I'm not talking about BlackRock. I'm talking about the independent buyer or seller who owns, like you, who owns a property and you're trying to sell it. If somebody like me who gets $25,000, I'm gonna put it as a deposit. It's only smart for you to be like, well, if you're getting $25,000 to put down, I'm gonna increase it $25,000.
If I remember correctly, there was a part of that bill that says if they go back a certain amount of time, there's a price increase that's in line with that they'll get penalized for.
And you think that's perfectly fine for the government to be limiting what a seller can do in the marketplace?
I think when it's something like that and it affects more than just, because it's not just that seller, right? So markets. They're really annoying, and I'm not bad with economics, but they annoy me because it's awful. So you can blame one seller, you can blame the gas station that wants to up its price 10 cents versus the one across the street. But when the one across the street goes up 15, now the guy that upped it 10 is suddenly down 5, and he has a nice gas station to go to. He was a dickhead for a long time, but now he's a cool guy because he has gas 5 cents cheaper than across the street. He's going to up it another 10 because he just found out that people will pay 15 more cents for the gas. Then when the next guy goes up, he'll bring his gas, he'll maintain his. The guy across the street's gas prices will go up another 10 cents. And then now the guy, the original dickhead, again, he's charging more than he was at the start, but he's still charging 5 down from the guy across the street.
The only reason
he's still a dickhead because he's still paying the same amount of money for the gas that he's selling. He's making more money, but he's not having to pay any more money.
The only reason,
he's a dickhead.
Okay, that's called profits, though. When you're a business owner,
now,
you need to make money out of your product. You can't just sell it just to be a humanitarian.
That way you have more competition. And
they're making it a competition as opposed.
That's free market, though. It is competition.
It's my turn. So if it's you, Laz, him, and me, right? And we all, because I think I gave you the same thing last time, where it was like, okay, but we all have supermarkets. You have a Publix, he has a Winn-Dixie. You have Kroger's, and I have fucking Harris Teeter.
What's Winn-Dixie?
It's a grocery store.
Okay. I love Winn-Dixie.
All
right.
So if there's any left.
So there are. They were owned. A lot of them are owned now by Fresco, which is like a Cuban version of it.
What's Fresco?
But Winn-Dixie.
It's new Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
It's yellow Winn-Dixie.
It's a Cuban version of a Winn-Dixie.
So the point is, we're all selling items, right, at a certain price. Well, I saw Lazaro. He can sell people like the meat for like, extra cents more, right? Okay, cool. He wants to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it too. And we just gradually start going up and up and up. So like, yeah, there is competition, but it's not about like who can get more customers. It is who can get their customers to pay more for the same product that they could have originally.
Because at some point, if we all keep going up and up and up, you're destabilizing the economy. Because if people can't afford to buy things that you need, i.e., groceries, a place to live, energy bills, phone bills, keep increasing the costs.
I don't think you guys are putting into account.
It's the government's responsibility to step in and be like, hey, I see what you're doing. I get it. You're trying to make some extra money. You need to make it to where people can fucking afford this.
I think the
people
problem,
besides only corporations, if you raise it to where only corporations can buy the money, you're assisting with the induction of the further induction of a monopoly like BlackRock.
I think the biggest problem that we're having right now, BlackRock was not BlackRock. It became BlackRock. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist. Because at the end of the day, they got to their position because they knew how to play the market. And that's what capitalism is knowing how to play the market. My problem is you don't comprehend what a free market is at its fundamental core if you think that government getting involved is the right thing to do. When that's not even a capitalist approach. That's not even a libertarian or a liberal approach. That is a progressive Marxist approach, because what you're saying is the government has a right to step in when it comes to free market trade. And the reality is, hold on. The
responsibility of government?
That's where we don't link. You don't know the responsibility of a government if you think that's their job. But the responsibility of a government is not its job to be focusing on energy. It's the job of a government is to create policies to actually help manufacturers lower energy costs in order for them to lower their product costs, in order for everything to be cheaper and still make profit. The government's job is to create policies that are going to benefit the manufacturers and, as a result, the consumers. That's not what's happening right now.
I see where we differ. You think it's the government's job to create policies to help business.
No, you're not seeing the point.
That's what you said, though.
If you create a policy, then that in effect, indirectly, will benefit the consumer because we're buying from the business owners. That's the part that you're not getting that part.
You're focused on manufacturers, consumers. What you're focusing on is business.
That's what a free market is. That's what capitalism is.
But the role of government is not business. The role of government is people.
That is incorrect.
Is to care for and govern its citizens.
Okay, that is incorrect because a government is a business because they are managing our money. They have a deficit. They have growth.
Part of the government's
They
job
have
is
growth.
business. The other part
So
of the
they have a
government's job
fucking
is
Federal
policy.
Reserve, which has to do with interest rates. So it's most definitely a business, and we should treat it like a business. And that's what we're not doing. That's the problem.
It is definitely not. If it was ran like a business, this would be a failing business. But that's because
Well, right now it's not
a government is not a
business because it's
A
failing.
government has to deal with business. They're two separate things. A government has to deal with business. Just because it has to deal with business does not make it a business. Because I go to Walmart and spend money, that does not make me a businessman.
No, it makes you somebody who understands the meaning of a transaction, though, which is what
Correct.
they also need
And
to
so
do.
does the government.
But they
And
don't
the
know the
government
meaning of a
understands the
transaction.
transaction, saying, "Hey, my people cannot continue to afford things at this price. What we're going to do is, you can still make a good chunk of money. You're going to make a little bit less because day-to-day people can't afford it." That's why any government policy, when you see looking at subsidies, when you're looking at anything that has to do with penalties, penalizing someone for something, it's all set off of price that someone can feasibly afford. That's why you'll see bail skyrocket. You'll see bail for like for felonies skyrocket, but like say like a rich person commits a felony, their bail is still capped at a certain level. Unless you're like your Diddy and they're like, "Hey, no, fuck you, you're gonna stay in jail," which he deserves to.
It's an asset at that
Trump
point.
was at the Diddy parties.
I mean, there was levels to Diddy party. So was LeBron James. So was Beyonce.
Yeah.
We can go on and on. Who was
And
there?
they should all listen. I can't say certain things, but certain things should happen to certain people.
I agree.
We're on the same page. I like that. But yeah, it's not the role of government isn't business. The role of government is policy in order to help the people.
What do you think? Okay, all right. I'm a
Government
business
starts
owner,
with being
so
the
I'm
people,
giving my
not being the
perspective.
business.
As a business owner, you need to have policies.
Correct.
A government creates policies. They also
Right, but that
create.
does not mean they're the same
Hold
thing.
on. Yes, it is. They're creating a policy.
I'm not a heart surgeon because I start IVs. I'm still a paramedic.
Yes.
It's a different. It's in the realm, different job.
Look at the system of a government.
Right.
You have the Supreme Court, which is like, I guess you can say that's like HR,
Okay.
look at it in that sense. Then you have the executive branch, that's CEO, CFO, CO, founder, you got them. And then you have the legislative branch, those are the policy makers, those are the ones in the back end. If somebody tries to sue, you got the lawyers kicking in, creating laws and shit, creating contracts, that way if you sign the dotted line, nothing can happen to you.
Did you call Supreme Court HR?
Yeah, I'm trying to...
Because HR fights for the company.
I'm trying to... I mean, yeah, that's
No,
what
that tracks. The Supreme
That
Court,
tracks, actually.
That tracks, actually. The Supreme Court is HR. They fight for the
I'm like,
government.
hello, get with the program, guys. All right. I was going somewhere with this. Damn it!
I feel like we agree on a lot of things. I feel like the methods differ.
Jesus Christ! I'm trying to get to a common ground here. Okay, let me focus. I'm in the flow.
We have one. We both don't like the government. We're good.
No. Well, yeah, you're right. I don't like the government right now because it's being run by people that don't understand the concept of a government, and that's the problem. They don't understand the concept of government. So to me, if you were to run the federal government like you run a BlackRock, it would be a way more successful government because you're treating it like a business.
But we don't treat it like a business, and that's why it's failing.
Exactly. Thank you. There you go. Oh my God. Perfect clip right there. Exactly my point. You get me now.